Hello and welcome to Navigating the Chapters of Challenge with Tele. Today I've got a lovely couple in the house, my very first couple on the show, and I'm excited to have them with me. I've got Bola and Bayo today with me. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves briefly and then we'll go into the topic for today. But I'm really excited about today's topic. It's a fun one. People have said things have been a bit heavy lately, so let's make it light and fun. So I got the best couple to do that. So please welcome Bola and Bayo. Please say hello to everybody, Bola.
Oh, hello.
And Bayo.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on. So I'm just going to get you guys to introduce yourselves briefly. Tell us who you are, what you do, and then we'll take it from there.
Well, hello. I'm Bayo, and I work in pharmacy. Been married for 25 years this year.
Oh, wow. Silver Jubilee.
So I'm still saving to see what we're going to do about it. I've been saving for ages and ages. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Eternity ring, an idea?
Please don't give our ideas.
I have the idea already, don't worry.
Spare time, I love reading, traveling. I love a lot of traveling as well. Arsenal fan, don't hold that against me. So that's just me, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bola?
Hello, my name is Bola. I'm a pharmacist as well. Been a pharmacist since 1998 in this country, so quite a while.
Okay.
I'm a proud mom of two, a beautiful son and a daughter.
Yep.
And in my spare time, I do like to do a bit of reading. He has, taken that from me, but what can I say? And lately, we've, getting a little bit into traveling as well.
Yeah.
And that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, Bola and Bayo in a nutshell. So, I would like you to tell us how you met, where you met, just a little bit about your story.
Should I go first?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so as you might have noticed, we're both pharmacists. So we both went to the same school in Nigeria, but I knew him. He was 2 years my senior, but we were just friendly. We're not, like that. So we both came here, unbeknownst to each other. And then, when you came here, you'd have to go to Sunderland to do an exam to be able to practice here as an overseas pharmacist. So, then you just would get the notes and read them and then prepare yourself for the exam and get up to Sunderland and do your exams.
Yeah.
So there was a little study group going to prepare for the exams, and somebody told me about it. So I joined in with the study group, and he was kind of like the convener of the study group.
Okay.
So we would meet ever so often, talk about what we've read and blah, 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 blah. And then what really happened during the study group was, instead of actually, looking at the studies...
You were looking at him.
I was kind of looking at him. And actually, really, it was more his voice, really, that kind of attracted me to him. So I used to go to study group and enjoy listening to him, blah, blah. And then after a while, after the study, you now go off to Sunderland to do your exam.
Yeah.
So you go there, give it a bit of time, I think, how long will you have to go for? About a month?
Yeah.
About a month before we go. So everybody has to book up their accommodation where they stay. So we ended up staying in the same house. So we get even more friendly in the kitchen. So I think from there, he kind of, what do you have to say?
Is that how it happened, Bayo?
Yeah, more or less, because, I think it's mutual attraction, really. So,
okay.
He saw a rose in the garden.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's as the roses blossomed over the last quarter of a century. Makes me feel very old.
So we actually hooked up per se in April 97.
In April 1997.
You might not remember this, but that's when we actually hooked up per se.
Okay. I'm sure you remember everything about that date, I'm sure.
Oh, I sure do.
Tell us a bit about it. If you can.
I mean, it was just a case of, I kind of knew what was in my mind, and I kind of knew he had thoughts towards me.
You.
And then one day he started talking and, saying, blah, da, 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 da. And I said, okay.
Yeah, blah, da, 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 too.
Yeah. So that's how we all got together. But, So very early on, I did say to him, look here, what are we doing here?
Okay.
Because, we have to know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So he said, he's looking to, get married and blah, blah. I said, all right, then we can continue. So that's how we,
that's
started.
How it started. Okay. Okay. So today's topic really is about keeping the marriage interesting, keeping it fun. And I've watched you guys over the years, and you guys just do lots of fun things and all. And I'm always like, where are they again today? They're out and about again. What are they doing? You know? Can you tell us a bit about how you keep your marriage fun and keep it interesting? What do you do? The kind of things you do? Just give us some practical tips.
Yeah,
and things you do.
It's interesting you said, you see us going here and there, but I can tell you, you've probably only seen that probably in the last 5 years.
Yeah, okay.
Because I would, maybe this is because we've been married, 25 years. So I would like to divide the average marriage into 3 phases.
Yeah.
They were what I like to call it. The so-called honeymoon phase, and it's called that for a good reason, because I would say it's before the kids phase, where it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
You're newly married, in terms of responsibilities and all that, all your responsibilities are non-children and all that. So that's one phase.
Yeah.
And then the second phase would be when you have the first child. And then that phase lasts a very long time, because we're talking first child, second child, and then when they're really young and you have to be there with them 24/7.
Yeah.
And then the third phase is the phase we're in now, where they're like adults, literally, and they can, even if they disappear or go traveling for a year, you don't have to worry about them. Well, you worry about them, but you don't have to be hands-on.
Can I just interject here? And to use the Nigerian sort of balance here, they don't send you after a while. They do their own
For those
thing.
who don't understand, they're not bothered about you, or they don't care what you think. They just do their own thing.
Lives,
So really, so it's an interesting part, and each part has its own pros and cons. Things you enjoy when you're just by yourself, and then obviously the beauty of having kids, and that's also a fantastic thing, regardless of all the hands-on you have to do.
Yeah.
And then obviously also looking after them, even when they're old or they think they can look after them, but you still have to be hands in there. But I think what is just reminded me is that the importance of having your wife or husband as a friend.
Yes.
Because honestly, that makes a big, especially when, in the later stages when the kids are much older, if you're not friends and if it's all been about the kids, that is when it really comes out.
Yeah.
And that's when marriages start faltering, because kids are not there. And then you now realize with some couples that it was all about the kids.
There's nothing to talk about.
So friendship is very, very important.
Very
I think.
important.
Yeah.
Bola, want to add anything to that?
Well, I just say marry your best friend, marry a person who you have similar interests with. I mean, like with him, we like music, we like going out to shows and things like that. And and it works for us. So,
it works for you. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Bayo, what was it about Bola that really attracted you to her? That made you know that this was going to be my friend for life?
Okay, yeah. Well, you see, like I said...
she said your voice, so... what was it about her?
Well, I think it's a general persona, apart from, it's a cliche to say beauty and all that, that's... I'll just leave that as for granted, you know. So when the character, you can, like I said, the little interactions we had first meeting, you can obviously develop, try and see what the character of someone is like, based on your interactions with them. You can have some kind of chemistry, let's put it that way. So she came across very genuine.
Okay.
I would say, so and then obviously it was just, I think. And that's where sometimes we forget that God has a plan for everyone. So while you're thinking that, there's chemistry, we don't know what God's plan has been to put you in that position, knowing that this is like your chosen one. So that all helps. So generally, you definitely just, it's almost automatic. You see and you almost like feel that, this is the one.
This is the one, yeah. And so you said that... it's only 5 years ago now that you started going out more. I started seeing you going out more. So what brought that on? Bola, you want to tell us about that?
Well, what I would say is...
or was it just because the children left?
Yeah, well, our first son went off to uni, then we had our little one in sixth form, and then she's now gone off to uni. So we're more... Actually, I think it's more about to do with the fact that got to a stage where we could leave them at home.
Yeah.
Where we didn't have to be at home with them all the time. You know, because once they start about 15, 16, you can do what you like. Come back home whenever time. It doesn't really matter. And they actually want you to go out anyway.
Yeah.
So once we got to that stage where they're not so attached and they could do their own thing, go out themselves and everything, then there's nothing stopping us from rekindling our own business as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you just decided to start looking for shows. Who started looking for the shows?
Him, actually. It was him. It was one Christmas, and what did you give me for Christmas? You just gave me an envelope.
Yeah.
You just gave me an envelope. He just said check your email, and I checked it, and there was it Davido?
Yeah, I think
it was a Davido show. So that was the very first one, and and then we took it from there, and then we've been to Davido 3 times now. So there's a great love there.
And
Ashaka.
Did you go to Shalama or was it?
Yeah, we
went
went
to Shalama. See, I've been watching you.
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. Yeah.
Oh
my God.
Oh
yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Bonner Boy.
Yeah, Bonner Boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Kiss Daniel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Adekule Golds.
Yeah. Michael Jackson musical.
So we keep ourselves very, very, very entertained, and the kids love it. They say, "Oh, mom, you go for it." You're like,
good.
I mean, they do know that when they were growing up, we were there for them, as every parent should be anyway. And we've done everything together, and
so it's your time to live your life.
And even sometimes when we're going to the supermarket together, like going for a Sainsbury's shop, they say, "Oh, mom and dad are going for their supermarket date." And you just think, "Oh, please stop being cheeky."
But you know what you just said now about the supermarket date makes me remember something I heard on a podcast recently, and they were saying that it's not about those big dates. It's not about that. It's about even the little, making sure that even the little time that you spend together,
exactly,
you make a big deal of it. You enjoy spending that time together.
Because
that makes sense, and you don't have to spend a lot of money.
Yes,
because literally, like you said, it's the event, not necessarily all the
and even it makes my supermarkets trips more interesting because I go to the supermarket, I want to buy one thing, and I think, God, I want to see 3 things, and I get drawn back and say, no, you don't need them,
So. You get that too.
I do. I do.
But it's only ever unhealthy stuff, isn't it?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
if I send him to the supermarket on his own, he'll buy, if I say buy milk, buy biscuit, he'll buy 1 biscuit, 1 crisp. No, that's not you do it.
No,
you have to buy more.
You have to buy chocolate biscuit as well.
Exactly.
No, but fruit and veg, I'll buy bucket loads of fruit and veg. Water, I'll buy tons of it. So,
Nobody's talking about fruit and veg.
Exactly, that's not what we're talking about here.
We don't want fruit and veg.
So the supermarket date's very interesting. So they're very interesting. Little Nando's here, little Wagamama there.
Yes.
Go out, have a little chit chat. It's all good.
Yes, it's all good. It makes a lot of
difference. It keeps everything lively.
Yes. Yes. They say even the happiest marriage has its own happy days and it has its challenges. So you guys are obviously very happy. I know that for a fact. But have there been challenges in your marriage, and how did you deal with them?
25 years.
It goes without saying, right?
Any couple that comes to your show and tells you, we've not had any challenges, you just say, you know what, the devil is a liar.
Go home, just go.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's how you deal with them.
Yeah.
So you'd always have challenges. And like I said, when I said the 3 different phases, interestingly enough, I think you'd probably have. Well, I can only speak for this. Challenges would probably come when, like, you will have your first child, and then you're dealing with that and so many other things. The stresses of little things, and that's when little things come out. I mean, from I think maybe because you're trying to do things you've never done before.
Yeah.
And then maybe trying to balance work and home. So at that time, you probably find you have more challenges than you did. And then I think now the kids are bigger. I think you tend to have less.
More challenges.
Yeah, because I think the stresses of modern life, all that is little things. I mean, I'm sure we've all said little things like school run, who's going to take, or who's late in picking up, or who's going to take them for rugby, who's going to take this, So those are little things that really, really gets in my view anyway. So I don't know what you have to say.
Well, I mean, the only challenge I would really say is a period of time when you worked away.
Okay.
It was just me and the kids at home, and obviously I had to sort of do everything, and so that was a bit challenging. So that was about basically it, really. Yeah.
Okay,
so I would have to sort of juggle children, picking up, dropping off, organizing everything, holiday time out, this and that. And then when you'd be at home, I'd be a bit grumpy thinking, you come home at the good time and you don't have all the stress of when I'm doing everything. Yeah, but apart from that, generally, all right. Yeah.
So when she was grumpy, what did you do whenever she was grumpy like that? What did she do?
Well, the thing is that I probably have my parents to thank, because the year my dad passed was actually their 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow, nice.
So, and that's when you grow up in a family like that, you see how, I could see how my dad, anytime maybe there was an issue with mom, or maybe mom was not using, I could see how he calmed things down. Because a lot of the time, it was almost like, not making things worse, you know. So even if it was like being humorous or whatever, and you just calm things down. So I just noticed that two wrongs don't make a right, so you learn that no matter what it is, you kind of like, sometimes it's best you kind of like don't say anything and just walk away. You know? And I was like,
Which could be annoying.
And I was like, you always used to say, like, with your dad as well.
Yeah.
That sometimes you say, can you do this? Can you do that? And if you say no, that's going to cause a whole lot of hassle, which could last, God knows, maybe a day or two, whatever. But even if you're not going to do it, and you go, no problem.
Yeah.
I end up not doing it. There's no stress.
I think with me and him, we're very different here.
Okay.
I am a bit fiery.
Okay.
And he's very calm. I think that's what drew me to him.
Yeah.
He's a very calm person. So where I would, sometimes if I'm a bit in a bad mood, I'd want to really go, have a good go at it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't say anything, and that would actually annoy me the more. But after a while, I obviously have to calm down.
Okay.
So I think that was, because I think if when I was in my fiery mood, if he too was in a fiery mood, we would.
Yeah.
So he would just ignore me for a bit, and then after a while, he will come and say, "Okay, are you all right now?" Then we'll not have a little chit chat about it, and then we'll calm down, and then look forward. So I think that's where opposite attracts in a way.
Yes. So he would say to you, "Are you all right now?" What would you say when he said that to you?
I might not answer for a while, but after a while, when I notice that he's not rising to debate and he's not doing what I want, he doesn't want to have a good fight. I just think, it's not happening today. Let me just calm myself down, and then we'll just, just come to his own side of doing things, which is just calm discussion. It's what it is, and let's move forward. So that's it. Yeah. So that's. In
a lot of marriages, you find that when it comes to the children, there's always conflict between the couple.
Yeah.
Because they have different views on how to bring up the children. Did you have that in your marriage when the children were younger?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we did. There's good cop,
You
bad
want to
cop.
tell us about it?
Yeah.
He's the good cop, and I'm the bad cop.
Bad cop. The mom's always bad cop.
Yeah, because in his mind, children are like eggs. You have to, you can't do this, you can't do that. Just treat them very gently. You can't shout, you can't this, you can't that.
Yeah.
But because as a mom, you find that you spend more time with the kids.
Yeah.
So you do tend to do more of this discipline.
Yeah.
But one thing we did do, which was that we never ever, how would I put it? In front of the children, we never really had too much disagreement. I would, if I had anything to say to him, I'd say it to him in private. That this child that you're, doing, allowing to mess you about, she actually very capable of doing whatever it is she wants to do. She's just manipulating you, really.
Yeah.
So I would say that to him in private. So there wasn't a case of, maybe a child would ask me for something and I'll say no, and they say, okay, I'll go and ask daddy, and daddy will say yes, no. Because we'd always agree that, okay, can they have it or can they not have it?
Okay.
So so we always a bit different, I mean, I remember a situation once when my little girl was a baby and she was crawling. And several times she would crawl, and she would crawl towards the heater. Okay. And she would not look back. But she won't touch it.
Okay, so she knew she should not touch it.
She kind of knew. But she want to put her hand there and she would not. Then that was when it's just me and her on our own. But when her dad was there, she will not go. She will not go near there. She will not do this. Me, I used to just look at her, putting her hand there. But she could feel the heat. She won't put her hand. But when her dad was there, he would now run.
And quickly grab her.
So one day I said, you know what, let's look at. She was crawling towards the heater. And I said, let's have a good look at her. And she now looked. She looked back. Nobody answered. She now put her hand. Nobody answered. She now actually put her hand on the heater per se.
Oh.
And she now cried, and she never ever did that again. I said, look here, sometimes you just have to let them be. Let them do what they need to do.
Yeah.
And, so, yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that, Bayo?
No. Well, I mean, like anything else, it's if you don't spend. I mean, I don't think that there are not many. Well, maybe times have changed, but then I doubt it that there are many dads that could say, "Oh, I spend more time with my 1-year-old than my wife does." I mean, that's so. I guess when if you've been seeing that a lot, and maybe I've only seen it when I'm doing daddy daycare, maybe it's so. Obviously, I would react differently. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
So a lot of conflict happens in marriages because the couple get overwhelmed. So how would you deal with overwhelm in a marriage? For instance, you used to work, you work as a pharmacist.
Yeah.
You work as a pharmacist. You were away for a long time, working somewhere else. And she was dealing with all the taking care of the children. So you were daddy, weekend daddy, more or less, because I saw you more at the weekend or whenever you came home, right? So there must have been a bit of overwhelm on, probably even on your side too, having to travel all the way back and forth through the rush hours and all of that, and you having to deal with the children and all the household stuff. So how did you manage the overwhelm, and how would you advise couples to manage overwhelm if they're going through that?
Well, I guess it's a balancing thing, but in an ideal situation, I think you'd probably have to decide and have some sacrifice, because in an ideal situation, I mean, looking back now, sometimes you think, the husband doing that would say, well, I'm doing this for the family because this, the financial aspects, the money is better, this and that. But like they always say, oh, kids need your presence, not your presence, you know. So I think, if I was going to advise anyone, I would say, longer term, you probably find that, you might be better off making financial sacrifices, so, things like that. It's just a balancing thing. So I wouldn't advise anyone to just focus, purely on that. Oh, the financial things I can provide for them is going to be much greater and stuff like that. So, yeah, because like you said, it's hard on whoever is, and it works both. I'm sure there's some couples where it's the other way around, where maybe the wife for some reason has one high-flying job that travels a lot and the husband is, so yeah, it's a difficult one though.
It is, yeah. Sometimes you do have to make a financial sacrifice. There was a period of time where I had somebody picking the kids up from school. So I'd, go to work normal, finish at 6, go home. And this lady would have done the reading, should have done the spelling, should have almost, short of writing in the parent contact book or whatever, should have done all that. So I just come home in time for the kids to say, oh, hello, mommy, and I'll say bye-bye to her auntie, and then, I'd put them to bed. And then I couldn't switch off from work, because you just keep thinking, because I was a manager at the time, and you keep thinking, oh, what's happening with this and what's happening with that and blah, 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 and, telephone meeting or conference call and all what. So after a while, at some point, we had a chit chat. We said it was just getting too much.
Yeah.
So actually, I kind of jacked the job in.
Okay.
Right. I was home for a bit, and I was a much happier person. The kids were happier to have me. And after a while, in time, I did find a job that fit into school hours. Yeah. So it was better for everybody. It was better for me as a person because as a lady, as a female, it's good to have your own money. It's good to have your own thing going on. Yeah. So I had my own thing going on. I had my own cash. It wasn't that much, but it was my cash. Yeah. The kids were happy. I was able to pick them off at school, pick them up from school. And, everybody was happy. The home was happy. So, sometimes in life, it might not be ideal. And it's only for a time, really. Yeah. You have to make a sacrifice that's, for things, for the greater good.
For the greater good, yeah. I think, so, making sacrifices is very necessary in marriage.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of having all the money and then you grow up and your children don't know you? Or they are not, because there's so much that goes on. I remember there was a time I said to my son, somebody said to me, there's this bus stop near his school. And somebody said to me that, the children do drugs. And I came home and I said to him, did you know that children do drugs? And he said, Mom,
where have you been?
That's nothing new. Now, if I wanted to partake, I could have. And I thought to myself, oh my God. And to me, that was news.
You're so innocent.
Exactly. What's the point of, being, having all the success, having all this money, if at the end of the day, your kids are not in a good place.
Yeah.
You know, so in sometimes you do have to make sacrifices. You know, I mean, there's no point the auntie being their mom.
Yeah.
What's the point of being a mother if you can't be there for your children? You know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I was thinking, did you feel guilty about that?
I did.
Because I remember when my daughter was young, she was in nursery and I was working in London and they were having I think it was a school play, and I was rushing to get back to see the play, and by the time I got there, they'd finished. And there was this mother who said to me, oh, she was looking out for you, and when she didn't see you, I saw the look on her face, and I took a picture of her for you. I have a picture. And that almost killed me because I thought, oh my God, what kind of crappy mother am I? So did you must have felt really guilty.
Because I mean, there were times when I'd have just simple things like they taking the children swimming. Then they would say, oh, can a mom offer to go swimming with them or just to go along with them? And obviously, I'm nowhere to be found because it's not that easy for me to just take off and say, oh, I'm going to do swimming or I'm going to do reading in school or whatever, you know. I mean, there was a time when there was an incident where I don't know what happened, but my son had to pay £1. I didn't know anything about this £1 he had to pay. And apparently some mom told me, I think maybe 2 days later or something, when I did see her that she gave him the £1 because he felt that she could see that it wasn't like, you know, that I would have given him the £1 if I knew about it. But you know what kids are like, they don't tell you everything. No. You know, so she gave me, I was trying to give her the £1. I said, oh no, you don't have to. But I felt so bad that, you know, there's another mom that had to come to my own son's rescue. Where was I? Where was her work trying to make money? So, you know, in life.
Yeah, you have to make.
But like I said about the auntie that used to do the reading, because when I'd come home, she'd tell me, oh, they've read this, they've done this phonics, and all I have to do at this stage is just write in book that, oh, they've done this, they've done their spelling, they've done this, and I just think that's not how it's supposed to be. She's not supposed to be telling me, because like I said, I'd come home just in time for them to go to bed. Yeah, you know, so they would even barely be able to tell me about their day. You know, it'd just be, oh, hello, mommy, good night, mommy, and that'll be it. So you know, in life, sometimes you do have to just, you know, balance everything else. You know. I mean, now they're older. I'm back to work full time, and it's not disturbing anything.
Yeah,
so
that's the third phase.
That's phase 3.
Yeah, true.
And Bayo, when you were traveling back and forth, did you feel any? I know it was okay. Like you said, you alluded to it maybe for the financial good of the family, but was there any emotional? Did it affect you emotionally in any way?
Of course it did.
Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, it was. It was never easy, really, because obviously, I mean, you want to be there for the kids all the time, and I think it's interesting because I think that's what happens a lot with either spouse that spends a lot of time making money to look after the family. You almost try. I won't say bribe. You almost try and overcompensate by making sure you not tell yourself, okay, this holiday that with family holiday we're going to, which is very expensive, you know, which the kids, you know, we're going to Florida, which the kids are loving and all that. The only way that's possible is because, you know, I've worked so hard to get some of that. So you try and, you know, or maybe when you're buying them, you know, the early days or their designer stuff or whatever, you think, oh yeah, you know, this and that. But on a quiet day or when maybe like something happens and you miss out on a play or whatever,
sports day,
you know, things like that. And you know, in our profession, it's even worse because you're either there all day at work or you're not there. So I always envy people that can say, oh, okay, I just need the morning off because I'm going to school to see the teacher. I'll be at work at 2 p.m. and I'll make it up, you know, whatever. You can't do that here.
Okay.
Here, it's either you take the whole day off or you don't.
Really?
Even to go to the dentist. So people will say, oh, I just have a dental appointment. I'll be in 2 hours late. No.
Why is it like that?
Because
you're responsible. Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, because nothing can happen till you're signed in.
Okay.
So the place is open 9 to 6. If you're not there at 9, if you're there at 9:05, everyone starts panicking.
Oh, really?
So it's really safe. So if I have a dental appointment at 1 p.m. for 20 minutes,
you have to take the entire day
off.
That's wasteful.
That is totally, yeah. So things like that don't help. But yeah, but like I said, obviously, whenever we come down to advising new couples or whatever, I would say, think long-term and just do a balancing act. Like one of my friends who's in the same profession as I am, I was really very impressed with him. Early on, he just said he does not work Saturdays.
Okay.
End of. Which in our profession is very rare. You know, especially, maybe before the kids are older or whatever. Because sometimes you use the Saturday to balance out other things and all that. But he just said, no. He just put his foot down. Monday to Friday, whatever that takes, and that's it. And I found that very impressive, I think longer term, just especially with God behind you and all that, I think if you just make the financial sacrifices that allow you to spend more time with the family, especially in the younger years, then I think what happens now, I think back, I think the first couple of years of you doing that might be very challenging.
Yeah.
But the way life is, you adapt.
Yes.
So, like someone said, when we came to England and you hear people getting £25,000, you'll be like, hey, one day.
Big money.
When me too.
One day I'll earn that big money.
I remember one day going to some kind of gathering, and there was this guy saying, well, I'm on 25K. Everyone was like, hey.
Oh, wow.
But what I learned in this sense is that when you're on 25K, you will spend it all. Mm-hmm. When you're on 50K, you will spend it all. When you're on 250K, you will spend it all. Yeah. So what you have to do is that if 50K will give you a good family balance, right, and 100K will give you a very, bad one, go with the 50K.
Yes.
The first year, second year, you might be thinking, this is a reason, but by year 3, you've adapted.
Yes.
Because you've cut your coat according to your cloth, and not according to anything else. So that's what I think. So definitely the focus should be on family time. Try and get that balance.
Because the fact of the matter is, regards to family time is, as everybody knows, the kids won't be kids forever.
Yes.
So and memories more than physical possessions are what matters.
Yes.
So it's the things you do with them that really matter. I mean, like the kids still say to me, "Oh, Mom, do you remember when we did this? Do you remember when we did that?" So those are the things that really matter in the end.
Yeah, the memories.
So I think you spend time with them.
Yeah. So if you were going to advise young couples, how would you advise them to keep the joy? Being happy is one thing. Joy. How would they keep the joy alive in their marriage? Because you guys are happy and you're joyous as well. So they're two different things. So how would you keep the joy going in the family, in the marriage?
Well, there's a lot of things, and there's no easy answer for couples are different, so it depends on characters. Yeah. Well, that's where the friendship part of it comes in. I think it's very important to, whatever you do, develop a friendship with your spouse. So be friends, And there's a lot of sacrifices. We always say this, it's probably a cliche in marriage, give and take. Well, there is a lot of sacrifice because you have to, like when we're coming today now, for instance, we're already in the car, ready to go. And my late dad was a general in the, he was in the Navy, and military precision. He was always one for time,
Just like my dad.
Yeah. So Telly has told us 2:00. I don't intend to get there at 2:00. I intend to get there at 10 to. So we can say hello to her, whatever. So, So, and Bola said, I forgot something. So, in times gone past, would I be like, you forgot something. We have to leave now. If it's not something we need for the meeting, we're going. But as time goes on, I was like, okay, no problem. You can go and get it. And wait, and then she ran.
Run though.
Sorry?
She ran, you see?
Yeah, she ran and so it's a little things like that. So you'd find that you'd have to, sacrifice. So like you said, sometimes the couples, you're not exactly the same characters. You're not the opposite. So
definitely not.
Do things like watching TV. Someone said some marriages have ended over the remote control.
Yes.
And when people
even over toothpaste.
Yeah. When people say that and they think, what do you mean that? How can a marriage end over? What they don't realize is that what we're talking about is the final straw. Yeah. So obviously there may be little things that have been building up, and then that was just the final straw, and it's like that's it. Yeah. So it's give and take. You want to watch something, okay, you do something else while someone is watching it. If you don't like the same programs, and then someone is always saying that. Try and watch what the person is watching. Yeah. Because you never know. You may not enjoy it as much as, but you can,
You can try to like it.
So
That's just like me and my husband. He loves tennis. I can't be bothered. I don't care about tennis. But I sit with him when he's watching. I know the names of all the tennis players.
well, there you go. See?
I know who's winning.
Exactly.
I'm not actually watching, but I'm just sitting there like, okay. Because he wants to talk to me about it. Okay, you see that shot? Okay.
So I see something else you can do. You can go. Your spare time. Just spend 10 minutes. Go on Google and just try and see what the scoring is and that's and that. You've learned something in a day.
Yeah.
And then when you come back and you just tell him that, oh my goodness, that was a 170 mile per hour shot, and you'd be like, wow.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try that.
That's impressive.
I'm gonna try that. So I was listening to Focus on the Family recently, and they were talking about something called biblical flirtation. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I was like, biblical flirtation? What on earth is? What on earth is biblical flirtation? And they were talking about the fact that as a couple, you need to continue to flirt with one another. What's your take on that in the marriage to keep it fresh?
Okay. Oh yeah. No, that's well, it's important, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, we all know what marriage was created, for, not just for procreation, but
companionship.
Companionship. Man wanted to be together. So I think it's little things like, part of like our going out to all these concerts and all that. That's like date nights kind of thing, So it's all part of it, and like you said, little things like going out, even a little thing like having a burger or whatever. Yeah. Some couples don't do anything like that. So which, it's almost like go to work, come home, and, that is it. Even at the weekends, maybe everyone does their own thing. But, I think it's important to just engage and do little bits and pieces.
Yeah, a little compliments here and there doesn't
exactly.
go amiss,
Little compliments.
Nice. Although, this is why it's good to marry your friend, yeah? In the beginning...
Although, can I just interject?
Oh, sorry. All right.
And just say something quickly? Because this, which is something I have to work on. When women say, oh, you don't tell me you love me. Is that a thing? Because
it's just a big thing. It's a big thing.
Because maybe I have speak for all the men in the world, but unfortunately, we just presume it is known. And sometimes we're a bit shy to actually come out and say, "Oh, I love you."
No, you don't have to be shy.
25 years later, so
you have to.
Well, you have said it now. He said it now, Bola. So take that.
You have to.
Oh gosh.
It's so funny you say that because this is one thing we talk about all the time at home. I'm like, you don't tell me. Yeah. I want to hear it.
Exactly. Just say it.
Says, but I do. I love you. I'm like, oh, I don't. And I remember when we were dating, I would say I love you, and he'll be like, yeah, me too. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think to myself, you need to initiate it sometimes. You say it first.
You might as well say ditto.
Exactly. Yeah, he said that to me before, ditto.
What did you do when he said that to you?
No, not ditto. You have to say it back. Yeah. So and I never things like, oh, do I look nice? You just say I look nice, Because with him, if you tell me he looks nice, he loves it. Yeah. So I just say, say it back,
Yeah, say it back.
Exactly. Tell me, or if I do a new hairstyle, I just think, this man should notice now. And you walk, he comes home from work, and you walk, and you shake the hair, and he goes, I don't think. Do you not see my new hair? And he will now tell me, but it's nice.
That's exactly what mine will say to me too.
I've got a take for an advice for couples, especially for men.
Yeah, please give the advice.
Remember these 3 words.
Okay.
Always state the obvious.
Okay, yes.
Right. The obvious is that your wife is looking nice, looking lovely, Tell her.
Yes. That's a good tip.
Your wife, you love your wife.
Tell her.
Everyone may think it's obvious this couple love it, but say it.
Say it.
So just state the obvious.
Yes.
I love you. You look nice. Your hair looks lovely.
Yes.
I love the way you just...
Notice. Just pay attention and notice it. And say it.
Yeah, say it.
One thing he will say is when I do my cooking, I don't really like cooking that much, but when I, do it, go quick up, people say, Bola, this is nice.
Yeah.
So that one he likes to, he will tell me that one. So I like that. That's
you like that. Yeah. So little compliments here and there.
Here and there, little things here and there.
But you have skirted around my question. I was talking about flirtation. You have not answered my question. You've gone round it, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, biblical flirtation, we have to ask, is your audience over 18?
Yes. Well, no.
So,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
No graphics. Nothing graphic. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you marry somebody, you're attracted to them.
Yeah.
Even when you're doing boyfriend, girlfriend, 25 years later, you're still attractive. A bit older, a bit more rounded, but he is still attractive. So, you still do what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need to say. And it doesn't always have to be initiated by the same person. That's another thing I will say.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I love the term biblical flirtation, because obviously that's the Bible. Basically, I think they kind of like allows a free for all in a marriage.
Yeah.
So I think that's where so there's no holds barred in a marriage.
Yeah.
Is if you're the Bible would only frown if you're not married.
Yes.
That is where. But once you're married, it's basically just keep on loving each other.
Exactly. Whatever it is you do to make your children, they're not. It's not specifically or. It's not just for that. You do have to continue your intimacy. How many years later? You should carry on. You shouldn't say, because you're now XYZ, you don't do that anymore. You carry that on. Yeah.
And they say it actually starts before you get to the bedroom, really.
Oh,
so
of
little
course.
things that you need to do.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of couples forget to be amorous towards each other.
Exactly.
They just take it for granted.
A little nice text in the daytime, nothing nasty.
Yeah.
Just a little nice text. So how are you? Blah blah blah. It's not just you come in the evening and then the other room. No, you have to build these things up.
Build it up. Yeah.
So what do you have to say?
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. It because at the end of the day, it's I want to use that word, whatever word, but anyway, the preamble.
Yeah.
There has to be that romance.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Not everybody has the time to be laying roses and do candles and everything all the time, but
and it's not just physical; it's the mind as well.
The mind
is very important, because if your mind is not up for it, then just forget it.
Yes, I think also words of affirmation. Regularly. Affirming one another. Just regularly, just a little word to say.
No, I don't know. He likes word of affirmation.
Okay, that's not your love language.
No. I have 2 love languages.
Okay, what's your love language? You want to share?
Acts of service.
Okay.
And what's the other one? Spending time. Quality time.
Quality time.
Those are because I'm a very spontaneous person.
Yeah.
Gift giving is not a what's it called? It's not a love language to me, because I'm very spontaneous. If I like something, I do it for myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to wait for anyone. He does give me gifts, don't get me wrong, but and I do like getting gifts, but like I said, I don't wait for anyone to give me anything.
You just do it.
I go for it.
Yeah.
But little acts of service, like maybe he taking out the rubbish, things like that. Just little things like that, And when the kids were little, just jump up, quickly give them a bath before I get up to do that. Little things like that, And then quality time, like going to Sainsbury's. That's part of the quality time. So those are what does it for me personally.
What's your love language, Bayo?
Well, definitely gifts and quality time.
He loves gifts.
Loves gifts. Okay.
He loves the gifts.
And in time with the gifts, which you don't like, is I love surprises.
He does.
Okay.
He does.
Again, I got that from my dad, because my dad was so warned about surprises. I remember once, because when we were schooling in England, we came home I think our dad came to London to bring us back to Niger, and we came home, and Dad had bought this lovely watch for my grandmother, and it was meant to be a big surprise.
Yeah.
And this is me. I think I was supposed to be 15 there. I thought I was doing a good day because we were unpacking. Yeah. So I brought out the watch. I came to the living room. I said, Dad, don't forget this.
Oh no!
He just grabbed me into the room, like, pum pum. And
it's part of the surprise.
And then my mom would say, what's that? Who is it for?
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm new to really.
He loves the surprise,
I really want for surprise.
I love surprises too. I don't get them often, but so anybody out there hearing this, I love surprises.
Yeah, when I was going to be 50, he was surprised. He was planning a surprise for me. After, I think about a week to it. He just told me, just by the way, I know you don't like surprise, but I'll just tell you, you're planning a party for your 50th, so you know.
So you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your 30th was a surprise, which you kind of found out about.
I found out, yeah, somebody told me about it.
Oh, that's sad.
By mistake.
By mistake. Oh, no.
But one day, I will step out of character and I will do something, a big surprise for you.
Surprise.
You watch this space.
Watch the space.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Maybe for the 25th anniversary. Who knows?
Anniversary.
Eternity ring.
Oh, is that going to be the surprise that you pay for it? Oh, wow, what a surprise.
No, Bayo, that's not what I mean. That's not what we're talking about.
What a pleasant surprise.
Nah, not at all.
Wow. So we're fast coming to the end of today's show. So it's been such a fun show because
been lovely.
with Bayo and Bola, honestly, it's been fun. But before we go, I always like to end every show on a note of hope. So I'm going to ask Bola and then I'm going to ask Bayo. What would you like to say as we end the show? Just to give couples something to look forward to help them as they go along in their marriage and to put in joy and laughter and fun into the marriage.
I'll say the most important thing, is marry your friend, because in the beginning, when you're doing boyfriend and girlfriend, you might have lots of hair, you might have a six-pack, you might be, lekba, very slim and all that. But as time goes on, all these things disappear.
Yeah.
And if you don't marry your friend, someone you can have a good chit-chat to, someone you can have a good laugh with, things will sort of
fizzle
out. And you have to be very intentional about making time for yourselves, because as he said, when the kids come along, you can make it all about the children. Because I remember there was a period of time where he'd come back home from work and all I have to talk to him about was, we need to go and buy nappies. Oh, is it huggies? Is it, what's the other nappy?
I can't remember now. Pampers. Okay, Pampers.
That was all I used to discuss with him, baby milk. And I just thought to myself, I think there's a bit more to me than this. So, you have to have things in common, things you have a chit chat together. And don't keep malice. That's a very, very important thing. Because when we were going to get married, my dad said to me, look here, very, very, very important thing is never ever sleep on an argument.
Oh, perfect.
If you have an argument, make sure you sort it out. Don't sleep on it. Don't let the sun go down
on your anger.
Sort it out. Speak about it and, squash it. Yeah?
It's so funny you said that because we were given the exact same advice, my husband and I.
Yeah.
Just before, about 2 weeks before we got married. The same thing. And that has, for me, been a real good
and we've always kept it, haven't we?
Yeah.
And if you have something, just say it. Don't be stewing about things. If you have a grievance, spit it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And make the other person feel special.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and the kids know this. I mean, we love them quite all right, but they do know that. So yes, mom and dad, they have their own thing going on, which is very, very important. And it's good for them as well. So they know, this is how things are.
It's good for them to see you loving on one another. I remember when the children were younger, I would sit on my husband's lap and they'd be like, Mom, like, what's your problem? It's my husband. What's your problem?
But I think the most important thing
But they were learning too.
Yeah. Friendship, being each other's friend. Like, he's my bestie, and he knows it. So my bestie, my everything.
Yeah. That's so sweet.
Yeah, so obviously I agree with everything she said, and also I think it's important as well in terms of realizing that the early parts of the marriage for a lot of couples is the easiest part. So it's not called a honeymoon period for nothing, because at this, I think anyway, because I think at that stage you're newly married, so everything is still fresh, So I think you can use that opportunity the first few years to actually get to develop the friendship and kind of prepare for the later years. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, it's not every couple that have kids, but with time. With time is when couples tend to have little challenges as time goes on. When people say you've gone past the honeymoon stage, there's a lot more responsibility. It's not necessarily just kids. Maybe things financial and stuff like that. So I think at that point you have to develop this situation of where you give and take. Like we said, you don't sleep. If you have any arguments, you don't sleep on it. Make up. Give allowances for people. And like I said, to get to 25 years, it's a lot of give and take here and there, being very good friends, and it does get better. And what people have to realize as well is that with God, when you believe in God, everything works out in the end. And in marriages, in the later years, you find that friendship actually helps, because a lot of the time, companionship, friendship is what you really enjoy when your kids are not around. You know, if you have kids, you know, or even in later years, depending on what you're doing, it's just friendship and companionship is very important.
Yeah, because they will go out, they will travel, and you just be you two at home. So, you know, you have to chit chat. And you have to, and what people have to understand, because a lot of these young couples, they just have this feeling of everything Instagrammable, blah, blah, blah. There will be challenging times. There will be times when we won't be good, it won't be nice. But you have to remember the why of where you got together in the first place. You have to keep that in mind. I know that, okay, you know what, it might be a bit rough, it might be a bit, you know, for a while, but things will get better. And you just have to remember to stick to each other. Don't be looking out, look inwards, you know.
Things will get better.
Things will get better. Just remember why you got together in the first place. Yeah.
Things will get better.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bola and Bayo. Really, really nice to have you on the show. Hope to have you back again sometime soon to talk about something. We'll find a reason to have you back.
Yeah, go to all the shows. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
Life is for living.
Yep. Do you have any show you can recommend for that's coming up? Anything coming up?
Where are we going next?
Well, it depends on what they like.
Yeah, it depends on what they like.
It's interesting though, because when people see us on different things, they're like, "Oh, how did you get the tickets and all that?" And I'm like, "Okay, actually, to be fair, before I got the first one, because I even the first one we did, I didn't get the tickets from
Offline.
what I use now.
Okay.
You know, because then, so I would just go. I mean, like I said, there are other places, but Ticketmaster, AXS tickets, just go on there. Google it, you'll see all the shows happening and where they're happening.
Yeah.
Pick what you want, you know, look at the prices, pick your seats, you know, and that's it.
That's
you
it.
know, that's
Okay.
it. It's as easy as that. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, if you like comedy, there's comedy you could be
Okay.
going for.
On Ticketmaster. Okay.
Yeah, if you like your theater, you know.
I love
everything
theatre
there.
and comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy. I
There's
mean,
that as well.
yeah, we're going to. Oh, funny enough,
Fawlty Towers.
next Saturday we're going to Fawlty Towers.
Oh,
you know.
really? Are there still tickets? I'd love to go to Fawlty
yeah.
Towers.
I've always loved Fawlty Towers. When I saw that,
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
loves comedy.
oh gosh, I would love to see
Okay.
that. So yeah, so just things like that. So
Okay.
it's all out
So
there.
you've heard it. Fawlty Towers. Go to Ticketmaster. Go to is it ACX?
AXS.
AXS. Okay, AXS.
AXS.com.
Yeah.
Look for something. Find something to do.
Weekend breaks also. That's
Weekend
another
breaks.
thing you
That's
can be doing.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Your city breaks, you know, just
Yeah.
go to, I don't know,
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah.
Rekindle your romance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is it.
The city
Because
of
everyone
love.
says, oh, we're so busy, so busy. Like I said, short breaks, you know, they're amazing. All you have to do, if you work Monday to Friday, even if you just take the Friday of 1 week off and the following Monday, that's it.
Yeah.
You can go on your city break Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Exactly.
Free night break. Come back, relax on Monday, go back to work on
Rejuvenated.
Tuesday.
Yes.
We've learned that off our Gen Z people at home.
Yeah.
You know, they're very, very good at all these
Oh,
short
they-
breaks.
they-
That's it.
They don't even think about it. They just book the ticket. They're gone.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
you
it doesn't
just-
have to break the pocket
Oh
either.
yeah, EasyJet, Ryanair. You know,
Exactly.
you pay £49, you're in Europe.
Yep.
If
That's
you book
it.
on
Done.
time,
So it's not even very expensive to do. So
Exactly.
it doesn't have to take so much money to
No.
bring
Or
the
so
fun.
much time,
No,
you know?
no,
You
no.
don't have to take a week off work. You know,
Yeah.
just 2 days, two working days
You just
off
have to
work.
decide that do you want to go away for 2 or 3 nights and just look for something to do. End of.
It's all about
Simple.
planning.
Just planning, exactly. Forward planning.
And one of you said you have to be intentional. So I think that's it. You have to be
Yeah.
intentional
That's
about
have to
it.
be. Yeah.
That's it.
Intentional
you have
about
to be
it.
that this is the man, this is the person I'm with, and we're going to have fun together, whether he likes it or not. But he likes it anyway, so it's all good.
It's all good.
Okay.
Oh wow! Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
for
today.
having
And
us.
Thanks for
hopefully you'll
having
have
us,
you back. You're welcome. Hopefully you'll have you back again sometime soon.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all so much for joining us again today. And I'm sure you've had a bit of a laugh or a lot of laugh with us. We had a good time. And thank you for joining us. And hopefully you'll join us again soon for another podcast. Thank you and God bless.